Hello and welcome back to another body slamming edition of the Viva Film Podcast. My name is Caleb. I'm of course joined by my co-host, who many call beautiful Anthony
Beautiful
Camposano.
Beautiful Anthony? What? Is that my wrestling name?
Yeah, that's your wrestling name.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it'll be like Bobby Eaton.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
That's okay. I mean, I'm not going to get into the joke about his name right now.
Oh, okay.
It's too early in the podcast.
I mean, I think you would be the what do they call it? You would be the face, right? Is that what it is?
No, I would be the heel, brother.
Why do you want to be the heel?
Because I want to hit people in the dick.
Do heels do that?
Oh, all the time. Behind the referee's back, they're constantly like just going down there, uppercut right to the balls.
This wrestling sounds dangerous, Caleb.
Yeah, there's been cheese graters to the balls before, also.
I do not like that.
Yeah.
How have you been, Caleb? What have you been up to? What's the news in Caleb Town?
The news in Caleb Town. It's really funny because I was gonna make a joke about work, but then I was like, I shouldn't do that because I don't want to endanger my job.
You don't want to endanger your child?
No, my job. I don't have a child.
is your job your child?
No.
No?
What?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't really care. I don't like my job that much.
What if your boss watches this and he's like, all right, fine then, you're fired?
I'm not going to say what I want to say in response to that.
Okie dokie then. But you've been having a good week, Caleb. You've been doing whatever Caleb does during the week.
What do I do during the week? I watched Christie. Didn't like that movie.
Every week there's some new movie that you don't like. You just are just like, fuck.
I'm just a mean person.
Fuck this movie. Fuck the other movie. Like, fuck all these movies.
Yeah, I've been catching up on stuff I haven't seen. That sounds. Oh, what I saw that I liked was The Moment, the Charlie XCX movie. I liked that.
Oh, I have not seen that one, so
it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I've been doing, Anthony, is I've been, unfortunately, watching Star Wars last week has gotten me into a really weird Star Wars mood. So I've been watching. I'm like on a big Star Wars rewatch with everything in chronological order, and then I also have been reading Heir to the Empire, which is not canon, and I've been listening to Star Wars lore videos, and videos about the politics of Star Wars. So shout out to Corey's Datapad for having really great political videos about Star Wars. And if you do watch his videos because of this, let him know and let him know his old pal Caleb sent you.
Do you know him?
No.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't know him. I just like his videos. He made a really good video about how the Empire is fascist and really broke it down in a way that is really good.
Well, they most certainly are fascist. I don't know if that something that that people have argued against.
Yes, they say it's actually authoritarianism. They say, well, actually, Palpatine created the Empire for a good reason. And it's like, no.
People are dumb.
Like, I know.
People are really stupid. That's why I don't like talking about Star Wars.
Exactly. Let's just cut that out and no more Star Wars mentioned on the podcast.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, I have not really been watching very many movies. I've been watching the World Cup these last few days, so I've been busy with that. Of course, Mexico won their first game, and by the time this comes out, they will have already played their second one. So against South Korea, that'll be an interesting match. Yeah, we'll see. Have you ever watched soccer, Caleb? Have you ever watched the World Cup at all?
No, I'm not super familiar with it. Like the game was on yesterday, like at work, the USA and Paraguay one. But like, I'm not like, I mean, I don't have anything against soccer. I just have never gotten.
It's just not American enough for you, right?
No, that's not true.
You don't like football where they kick with their feet. You like football where they hold it with their hands, right?
Yeah, I like seeing men hold balls in their hands, not with their feet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, big men holding balls, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of big men, we are beginning our wrestling series this week. We're doing a couple episodes on wrestling films. We're starting off with some wrestling movies, some narratives, and then we're going to be watching a couple documentaries. And Caleb and we just did a very quick video kind of talking about why you like wrestling so much. And that video is available on our YouTube channel, on our youtube.com/Viva Film Podcast. So go check it out if you're an audio listener. And if you're watching this, then go watch that video. It's very quick. But really quickly, I mean, maybe condensing that video to like 1 minute. What is it? I mean, what is it about wrestling that you really you really enjoy, Caleb? And why are we watching these movies this week?
I really enjoy wrestling because I think it is a very unique sort of physical live performance where you can tell very specific stories, very unique stories that you can't really find anywhere else. And one reason that we're talking about these two movies is because I think that they capture... They're very different movies, even though they're both very sad, but like they both capture what pro wrestling is about.
Okay.
Very... in different ways and in different eras. One being fictional story, one being a true story, and they're able to really. I think these two films are probably the best wrestling movies as far as understanding what wrestling is.
Definitely,
and not talking down to the audience.
Definitely better than Fighting with My Family. Would you say? Don't
even, you know how much I hate that movie, and it's like, and no offense to, like, you know, Stephen Merchant, Florence Pugh, Lena Headey, Vince Vaughn, you know, like, no offense to anybody involved with that movie, but like, that movie is made for like it really is just like, the best way to sum up that movie is, so there's a scene in the Iron Claw where Zac Efron gets asked, says, "Oh, well, wrestling's fake, ain't it?" And he's like, he's a little offended, but he's like a normal person about it. And in Fighting with My Family, there's a scene where some characters are like, "Oh, wrestling's fake, ain't it?" And it's like dropping the utensils. What? It's I can't stand it. I don't know what that was that I just did. Also,
no, it's okay.
I apologize to our listeners and reviewers. I really dislike that movie.
Okay, all right.
I don't think Fighting with My Family is very good. I think it talks down to the audience too much, and I don't like that.
Yeah, and also Florence Pugh's performance is dog shit, god awful.
No, I love Florence Pugh. That came out the same year as Midsommar.
That was the first Florence Pugh film I saw, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I enjoyed the movie. I'm not a wrestling fan though, so I don't know you know, if it's one or, yeah, I don't know anything about it. I enjoyed it when I saw it. I don't know if my opinion would change or not, but whatever.
Yeah, I think the movie's thesis statement is wrestling isn't fake, and it's like, okay, cool. Do you have anything else to say? Maybe. Like,
well, it's the story about Paige, right?
Well, yeah, and like Paige is, you know, if you ignore who she was with for a very long time, Paige is like interesting.
Okay, but we're not talking about fighting with families, Caleb. That's not what we're talking about.
Well, aren't we though?
Maybe we are actually.
Actually, both of these movies could be called Fighting with My Family. Well, maybe The Wrestler couldn't be, but The Iron Claw could be called that.
Yeah. But yeah, we're talking about The Wrestler and we're talking about The Iron Claw, two of probably the most high-profile movies about wrestling, for sure, I would think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, both movies that got a lot of really great, you know, a great critical reception as well as a good audience reception.
Yeah.
Really quickly, because I know because you saw The Wrestler for the first time fairly recently, right? You didn't see it when it first came out, right?
Oh no, I watched it when I didn't see it in theaters, but I watched it when I was like 11 years old.
Oh, you did? Oh, you watched this when you were 11?
I watched it many times when I was 11.
Wow, okay.
12 years old.
What is? I mean, what? Okay. Were you like 11 years old thinking, why is Marissa Tomei walking around topless?
I wasn't questioning it. I was just happy about it, I guess, at the time. Well, not that I'm not happy about that now. I backed myself into a corner. Anyway, that's not the point.
What?
My point is, like, it's Marissa Tomei is gorgeous. She's amazing, obviously. But I was just kind of like, I feel like I was just like, oh, what, like a sad movie? But it was like one of the first like real movies I feel like I watched.
Not one of those fake movies.
Yeah, like not one of those fake movies you don't watch, but it was like a very serious movie, and I watched it after I became a fan of wrestling.
Okay.
In like late 2009, And I mean, I was really into it. I thought it was great. And then I've seen it a couple times. Then I didn't watch it for about 10 years. I watched it a few years ago. Thought it was phenomenal. And then, yeah, I just rewatched it like 2 days ago and was very, very into it. But Anthony, I'm curious. What about you? What is your history with this movie? When did you first watch it?
I saw it in theaters when it first came out.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Who'd you see it with?
I don't remember.
Oh.
I don't remember who it was. I could probably figure it out if I looked at the release date. Because if it was released during the school year, then it was probably like my grandparents. But if it was released during the summer, then it was probably my dad. So.
Okay.
But yeah, the wrestler. I was already a big fan of Aronofsky at the time. I had watched Pi and also Requiem for a Dream as well when I was in high school. I had like the DVD combo. It came with Pi and Requiem for a Dream, so I could could be sad for 2 whole movies. So when this movie came out, I was like, oh cool, the new Aronofsky. More now we can be sad again. Let's be even more sad. And now as an adult, I'm sad because he makes shitty AI movies about the American Revolution. So still, I don't know. Still making me sad, Darren, after all these years.
Yeah, it was a bummer because I remember because I don't like The Whale. I don't think that's a very good movie.
The Whale. Which one was that?
It's the Brendan Fraser one.
Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah.
They won where because Brendan Fraser won the Oscar for it, and him and Hong Chow are good in it.
Right.
But it's not like a good movie. And I was bummed. I was like, man, I miss Aronofsky. And then he did Caught Stealing, and I was like, he's back, baby! Woo! Caught Stealing is so good. It's so underrated. I really love that movie. Mm-hmm. And then then it's like, oh no, never mind. Now down to the AI bullshit. And it's like, God damn it, Darren, stop it.
God damn it, Darren. If only I haven't said that before. But yeah, The Wrestler, which is directed by Darren Aronofsky, written by Robert D. Siegel, who our listeners and watchers may be familiar with his work on the animated film Turbo, and cinematography by Maurice Alberti, and edited by Andrew Weisblum, starring Mickey Rourke, Marissa Tomei, Evan Rachel Wood, Mark Margolis, Todd Barry, and Ernest Miller. So here's my question for you, Caleb. Why is wrestling so depressing?
That's a great question. I think the reason for this movie, so obviously in this movie, Mickey Rourke plays Randy the Ram Robinson, who's a fictional wrestler.
Yeah, not real.
Who's really big. Not real.
Just like wrestling.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm sorry,
Anthony, I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to beat your ass. Oh my God. I can't believe this. No, it's like,
that was a low blow.
Oh my God. That's a fucking wrestling reference, you guys. He's getting it.
Well, it's also it's a reference in a lot of other things. Like in boxing, a low blow is when you punch someone in the balls.
Yeah,
or under the belt, right?
Under the belt, yeah. They say under the belt in wrestling sometimes,
but they don't wear belts. They wear Speedos.
Well, they wear belts on the way to the ring, then they take it off. They hand it to the referee, and then
they're taking it off, take it all off, baby.
Well, Cody Rhodes, he wears a weight belt, and during his entrance, he takes it off and hands it to a child.
Okay. Well, what does the child do?
Not the same child. He's like, yay, thank you, Cody Rhodes.
What does the child do with a weight belt? Does he go work out later?
He's gonna do some deadlifts.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, wrestling. Wrestling is a very depressing sport, Caleb. Why do you... What's the deal, man?
Well, I mean, wrestling, like with any other industry, especially, see, the thing is, after, and I don't want to pretend that like wrestling past their prime only started when WCW died. But if any of our listeners are wrestling fans and have listened to like the Deadlock podcast, I do kind of agree in a kind of joking way with their opinion that wrestling died when WCW died.
And when was
then
that?
you just had 2001.
Okay.
So in early 2001, I was gonna say, let me compose myself. Because because for a long time in wrestling you had like territories. Mm-hmm. So like for example in the Iron Claw you see how the NWA World Champion would kind of go to different promotions around the country.
Yeah.
That are partnered with the NWA. Mm-hmm. And so you'd have that promotions champion, but then you'd have the NWA world title, which is representative of everything else. So that's what, you see like the most famous, and that belt is still around. It's not as prominent as it once was, but it is still around and it is still really cool looking. And so with the NWA title, that's like the belt you see like Ric Flair and Harley Race, and all those guys like wore. And the WWF, which was started by Vince McMahon's father, it was mostly like a New York thing for a very long time. That's why like Madison Square Garden is considered like the WWE's like home arena, is because they ran so much there. And eventually, once Vince McMahon Jr., the Vince McMahon we all know and hate, took over, he then made a promise to his father saying, I'm not going to kill the territories. He lied. He bought a lot of them to combine them with the WWF. So it then created this kind of vacuum where suddenly, and then the NWA turned into WCW. But then the NWA is complicated. It gets weirder after the territory started dying, because the NWA and Jim Crockett Promotions, they kind of started like sponsoring wrestling companies. So it's like, oh, we're doing WCW. And then the NWA title eventually leaves WCW, goes to ECW, leaves ECW, kind of hangs around, goes to TNA. We're doing all sorts of stuff with it. And then now it's just kind of its own smaller promotion. I think they still have a YouTube show. I'm not 100% sure. I don't really watch it.
Okay.
But so basically in the 90s, you basically had WWE and WCW. And that's what started the Monday Night Wars, because Hulk Hogan went to WCW, NWO, all that stuff. WWE had Stone Cold Steve Austin. That was the big head-to-head thing where those two hated each other. And WCW kicked WWE's ass for most of it. I'm not like a big WCW mark. Just want to make that clear. But then eventually in 2001, WCW was in the fucking gutter because they were letting Vince Russo, letting David Arquette win the WCW title, all this stuff. And then WWE bought them for $2 million, which is a very low price to buy that for. And then WWE was now the king on top. And then you still had like stuff underneath where you had indies popping up like Ring of Honor, CZW, which we see in The Wrestler. TNA would start, which would be kind of like the second company, but it was like way below. And then finally in 2019, AEW started, which is the first proper competition WWE has had since 2001. And that's why people are so weird about it.
Okay.
But sorry, so that was my very long history lesson about that. So, but because of that, a lot of wrestlers who, for example, like let's look at like Randy the Ram Robinson, let's say, because they don't say WWE out loud, but the implication is that he was in WWE probably.
Okay.
Especially if he was working like Madison Square Garden in the 80s. So if WWE loses interest because sometimes they go, oh, nostalgia, we got to have all the old guys. And then sometimes they go, nope. That we have these legends that can come out and cut promos and sit on a little stool, and we ask them questions sometimes. And then we have the ones where they kind of just forget about and don't offer them anything. And he doesn't have that other big promotion that can pay him the same amount of money. So if he wants to make money and his only skill is as a wrestler, he kind of can only wrestle independent shows.
Right.
And they're not going to be able to pay him the same level he was, and they're not able to keep up with his lifestyle and stuff like that. So a lot of older wrestlers fell into that, and they would often be the main events of these indie shows. You would see that with guys like King Kong Bundy, with Kamala. As a side note, Kamala once wrestled Bryan Danielson for the Ring of Honor World title in a high school gym, WrestleMania weekend, and that was really cool. In fact, the entire thing with The Wrestler is at the end of the movie, that fan fest, that is clearly supposed to be WrestleMania weekend, because what a lot of independent promotions will do is they will run shows in the same city as WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
So it's like a big event. You can go see all of the indie stuff. It's really smart. And it's also something that is in danger next year because WrestleMania is in Saudi Arabia. So I'm hoping that AEW will do a show that will actually bring in like tourists and bring in where the promotions can all actually run concurrently, because they're not going to be able to do that in Saudi Arabia. So, there is that. But that's so the whole WWE is never mentioned by name, but they are the shadow over this movie without saying that. Or you can just say it's a big promotion. You can say this is a timeline where WCW won. You can say whatever you want. But that is sort of what the setup for this movie is that he is just not wanted by the big dog anymore, basically.
Yeah, he's past, like you said, like he's past his prime. He's now working these indie shows and having a really tough time doing all of it. And we get to see that. We get to see that exploration of, you know, this person whose claim to fame is now kind of past him, right? You know,
Well, yeah.
and that's something that we see a lot of with wrestling, as well as just any kind of sport where it's very physical, is that as you get older, it really destroys your body. And we see that when he's at one of the signings, and there's like a guy in a wheelchair, and there's a guy who has a bag, a colostomy bag, I think, right? And yeah, I mean that's very much like a dark side of wrestling that a lot of people don't maybe don't know about, or maybe don't like to acknowledge, is that a lot of these dudes, when they're older, it's like life is really hard for them, not only to make money but also just living, because it's a very demanding profession. Any physical profession is going to be very demanding.
Yeah, well, I always think about that Mick Foley had a book. Well, he's had many books, but he had a book where he has a diagram that has every injury he's ever had, and it's like just covered. It's like everywhere with him. I mean, Mick Foley lost half of his fucking ear in a match.
Jeez.
One of the wrestlers in this movie, Necro Butcher, which is his Christian name, he is who he's having the hardcore match with in CZW. He at one point offered to cut his finger off in a match for real.
Wow.
He didn't do it.
Good.
But he was down to.
Well, he shouldn't have. You know, it's a good thing that they didn't do that, but it's that's crazy. That's nuts.
No, yeah. And like the thing is, I love hardcore wrestling, and I love, like, you know, doing really crazy stuff in wrestling, but you have to also keep in mind, it's one of those things where, like, you can't overwork people, and you have to make sure that you're not, like, fucking yourself up for life, basically.
Which a lot of these guys do.
Like, yeah, like Mick Foley can barely fucking walk now. You know, and that's the dude who probably famous. I mean, he was like, I mean, that dude was taking bumps onto concrete constantly.
Right.
You know, and it's just like, you know, you see this with a lot of guys, like Matt Hardy. I mean, he was doing that top rope leg drop for, 20 years, and then it was like, oh fuck, that's actually fucking up my spine. I can't do that anymore. You know, like that happens a lot. And you know, a lot of them, that's what gets a lot of them into addictions with drugs, with alcohol, which is also how a lot of pro wrestlers have passed away due to overdosing. Another thing that's super uncomfortable to talk about is a lot of wrestlers have committed suicide. I remember there was one day, or there was like a couple day period where I would randomly be like, whatever happened? Like, how did this person pass away? And it was like 4 or 5 people. I was like, all suicide. Just horrible.
Yeah.
Happens a lot. And then, of course, you get the worst case scenario, which is Chris Benoit, where he had too many concussions, was hyped up on steroids, and was dealing, he was not in, he was dealing with a lot of mental health issues, and murdered his wife and child, and then himself. And it's one of those things where, like, and things are getting better with wrestling. Like, I want to say that is, like, taking into account, not, making sure that people are healthy, making sure that people are okay, really taking concussions seriously has been massive recently. And I just wanted to shout out Christopher Nowinski, who he had a career-ending concussion in 2003, and he's actually not on good terms with WWE because of this, which is really interesting. And he has done so much to, like, do concussion research to, like, make sure that, like, people can, to know when to stop. Because, like, you don't, if the last thing you want is for someone to pass away or, like Chris Benoit, do harm to somebody else because of wrestling.
No, absolutely.
And while there is a negative, and there's a lot of really bad stuff with pro wrestling, there's also, like, I think that it is becoming a much less toxic culture. I think it's getting healthier. And it's one of those things that, like, and especially, like, I think that fans are more understanding of, it's great to see people entertain us, but, like, you want them to be happy, like one of my favorite wrestlers is Big E. He broke his neck 4 years ago, could have been fucking paralyzed. He's probably never going to wrestle again. And as much as I love him, I miss him, I would rather him be able to walk and, like, live than to, like, take a bump that could, like, put him in a wheelchair or something.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously the safety of any performer is important.
Oh yeah.
Are the wrestlers unionized yet?
No, they're not. And if you want to know why they're not unionized, to our listeners, Jesse the Body Ventura, who you might know as the former mayor of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and also he was in Predator. He's been in a couple movies, and Jesse Ventura was trying to unionize the WWF wrestlers, and Hulk Hogan snitched on him.
Yeah, because Hulk Hogan is a filthy union busting scab. So.
Yeah, fuck Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
We're not friends of Hulk Hogan on this podcast.
Absolutely not. But kind of like what you were talking about, this like the mental illness that comes into play with a lot of these guys. A lot of that is explored pretty deeply in this film, in the film The Wrestler. Yeah. We have Mickey Rourke, who's playing Randy the Ram Johnson, who is very clearly suffering from depression, probably anxiety as well, some type of PTSD maybe, and of course the physical aspects too. He's isolated himself, he's very lonely, he doesn't have any real relationships in the film, and we see that when he has his heart attack, that like the first person who tries to kind of talk about it is Marissa Tomei's character, who's a dancer at a club that he goes to, and he doesn't even really have any family to like talk about, I mean that kind of that, it is kind of a juxtaposition of like he has a job, a profession where he has all these fans who adore him and love him, and he's goes into these rings and he's surrounded by crowds, and then he has nobody to like actually talk to. It's just this loneliness that we see. How do you feel about the way that's explored in this film?
That's really well done. Again, because it's like it is like Mickey Rourke. This is like, I would say this is his best performance. I don't think that's controversial to say.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
He should have won the Oscar for this. I looked up who won it over him, and I got so fucking annoyed because it's always Sean Penn.
He won for Milk, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, Milk was, is a good movie.
Yeah, I've never seen it. But it's also kind of crazy because Sean Penn is like a homophobe, so that doesn't really add up. But it's like, it's I think that Mickey Rourke does a fantastic job because he feels like just kind of like even when like fans talk to him outside of the ring, he like doesn't have anything to say to them. Yeah, and like when he does try to connect with people, it's not genuine. Like whenever he's like friends with like the neighborhood kids who like wrestling, they had that really funny conversation about Call of Duty. I think that's just an ad. Like I think that was just like you gotta put this in the movie, you gotta mention Call of Duty or something, I don't know but like it does fit because it's like it's kind of just this it also really shows the difference in like era where it's like he's like from the 80s, so like his video game is like, oh, I'm in a Nintendo game, as opposed to like he's like, I don't know what the fuck Call of Duty is,
yeah. And I'm sure that Mickey Rourke was able to kind of like tap into his own experience of being an actor who was really popular in the 80s and was in a lot of big movies. And then by this point in his career, he was kind of washed up, like he really hadn't been in a whole lot, and this was supposed to be his big comeback film. Of course, didn't really pan out because despite the fact that he is a good actor, he is talented, he is also very weird, and a lot of people don't like to work with him. So
yeah, and he was in Iron Man too.
He was in Iron Man 2. He was also in a movie that somebody I know was in. And I remember asking her one time, I was like, so what was it like working Mickey Rourke? And according to her, he was very nice and polite, to her. But who knows? Maybe, he's just kind of a weird guy, and it's difficult to work with him, as a lot of people have said. But yeah, Mickey Rourke did a fantastic job in this. I mean, I think that this is probably one of his best films. But someone else who's in this movie who also does amazing is Marissa Tomei.
Oh yeah, she's so good.
And so she plays an exotic dancer, if you will, who is really the only real relationship that Mickey has in this movie. And the relationship they have does kind of feel very, I mean, it is by definition a transactional relationship, right? He pays her to dance for him, but maybe there is some feeling there. Maybe she does have some feeling for him, but they obviously can't explore it because he is a customer, and you can't be with the customer. So yeah. I mean, how do you feel about their relationship?
It's really well written and it's really well done. I also think that she, like, it's funny because we're kind of back to when we were talking about Margot's Got Money Troubles, where it's like the kind of, with pro wrestling, it's like the comparison between pro wrestling and like between like sex work,
right?
And how and it's really interesting because they you know, they kind of use her as a way where it's like she's also like, she's not as old as him, like she's in like her 40s, I believe, where it's like, you know, she's, you know, also like in an industry where it's like using your body, and she's being treated worse at work because of like misogyny, and because she's like, you know, not like 20 years old. And you even kind of see for a moment that like she's like, it's very brief, but you kind of see that she doesn't seem like she like has any sort of relationship or dynamic with like the other workers at the club.
Yeah.
Like they're just kind of like sitting around talking about other stuff, and she's just kind of like there. And so you have that dichotomy, but you also get that difference where like with her, and you can also argue because it's not like her like passion necessarily, but she's able, it seems like she like has like a good relationship with her kid, is like aware of herself, and like is kind of her own person. Whereas with Mickey Rourke, whenever he's out of the ring, it's like it's just like he's like barely existing. It's like he doesn't know how to not be a wrestler.
He doesn't know how to function in reality.
Yeah.
I mean, he has that job at the grocery store, and just not. I mean, I've never worked at a grocery store, but he clearly does not enjoy it. He clearly is not having a good time.
Yeah, no, exactly. And, you know, but I think him and Marissa Tomei have like really great chemistry in this. Like that, like their scenes together, like she's so good. Like she also got nominated for this movie. And I mean, she's phenomenal. And it's really sad because Marissa Tomei is such a great actor.
Yeah.
And when she did win her Oscar, I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast before, because we've never talked about My Cousin Vinny. I would love to, by the way, if you ever want to do an episode on My Cousin Vinny.
Absolutely. I think My Cousin Vinny is like one of, like, not even joking, it's one of the best movies ever.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And she won the Oscar for that movie, and she couldn't even enjoy it because people fucking pretended that she won it on accident and that she wasn't the actual winner.
But she's great in that movie. I mean,
I know, she's so good.
She really is. No, she really is good, and she's great in this film as well. And she's great in other movies. She is a fantastic actress. Absolutely gorgeous. Still today too. I mean, this movie came out like almost 20 years ago, and I remember I went on Instagram to like go follow her, and I'm like, damn, she still looks great. So yeah, Marissa Tomei, if you're listening to this, you're beautiful, and you're also very talented. So.
Yeah. Well, do you remember the whole thing when she got cast as Aunt May, where everyone was like, she's too hot? like that was like a genuine discourse at the time.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, that she was like too hot and too young, right? Because like in the comics, Aunt May is always portrayed as being this like elderly woman.
She's got a foot in the grave.
Yeah, basically. Which, I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe the age of Marissa Tomei makes more sense, I guess. You know, because like, yeah, Peter's aunt probably would be around the same age as his mom, right?
Yeah.
But who knows? Who knows, right? It doesn't matter. We're not here to talk about Aunt May. We're here to talk about the wrestler. And Marissa Tomei is wonderful, though I will say it was very unrealistic when Marissa Tomei is trying to give people lap dances and nobody wants one from her.
Yeah,
I'm like, come on. It's like, okay, so she's older. She's still hot. Like,
you have to, you kind of have to, it's suspension of disbelief, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that nobody would want to dance from Marissa Tomei. Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, and you know who's in this movie who is brilliant? I forgot how good she is in this, is Evan Rachel Wood.
I was just about to bring her up. Evan Rachel Wood, who's the only other relationship we really see with Randy. She plays his estranged daughter who hates him and has every right to, frankly.
Yeah, well, and this is a very common thing with wrestlers that you hear them say. A lot of wrestlers don't have good relationships with their kids, which is also why a lot of their kids become wrestlers, in my opinion. I'm not saying with everybody. I'm not like trying to like paint with broad strokes, but like a lot of wrestlers do have bad relationships with their kids because they're not there. They're not present. They're on the road, you know? And and a lot of them, and especially again, like now, I think that has gotten better. Like you see, like I follow Tommaso Ciampa on Instagram. He's always fucking like posting about him and his kids hanging out.
That's awesome.
And I think that's great. Like a lot of wrestlers, it's just that thing of like, you just gotta have work-life balance, and a lot of wrestlers can't. Like I think, and I'll get into a lot of who I think the inspirations are for Randy in this movie.
Sure.
But I will just say, like, Evan Rachel Wood, who, by the way, this is her second appearance on the podcast.
Oh, is it? When did we talk about her before?
It was Kajillionaire.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about Kajillionaire. God, that was so long ago.
I know. And then and then hopefully, we got to do one on the Weird Al movie with Daniel Radcliffe where Evan Rachel Wood plays Madonna one day.
What else has Evan Rachel Wood been in? Because I feel like she is a really good actress who just doesn't get a lot of attention.
Yeah, those are the main three things I've seen her in. I remember looking at this. I don't think I've seen her in too much.
Looking at IMDb over here. Okay, all right. Oh, she was in Westworld. She was in Across the Universe. I never saw that film. She was in Frozen 2. I also did not watch that movie.
I haven't seen Frozen 1.
No, you haven't? It was such a cultural moment, Caleb, that you just had to be a part of.
I mean, I know about the memes where like Elsa gets Spider-Man pregnant.
Yeah. Evan Rachel Wood was in the music video for Green Day's Wake Me Up When September Ends. So
that's beautiful.
That is beautiful. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, Evan Rachel Wood, great actress, fantastic in this film. And some of the most emotional scenes between her and Randy. I mean, it just absolutely just rips your fucking heart out,
She's in like 4 scenes and it's just all like emotion. Like she doesn't really get to relax.
Yeah. But I mean, they're all incredible scenes, and God, she just acts the fuck out of them. And I think she's amazing. I want to see her in more things. Please, any casting directors out there, please put Evan Rachel Wood in more stuff.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like she's so fucking good.
She is, yeah. And that final scene between her and Randy is just like, wow,
Oh my God,
it's really, it's quite a gut punch.
Well, because I don't mean to interrupt you, but it was like, it's that dichotomy where she's just like, fuck you, I am done, but he's like still her dad and is like comforting her and gets it. It's like, oh my God, it's just it's a lot.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. But you said that there are some real life inspirations, or what you saw as like a real life inspiration. Which wrestlers are those that you think kind of inspired the character of Randy the Ram Johnson?
Well, so first of all, I just wanted to say is that Roddy Piper watched this movie and he broke down in tears because it reminded him of his life.
Wow.
So there is that. But I also want to say that the people I see the most from this is, first of all, from just visually, he looks like Jerry Lynn.
Okay.
Like almost exactly like Jerry Lynn. It's crazy. Also, we love Jerry fucking Lynn in this house. Just wanted to point that out.
Okay, good.
Like
good.
One of the best. Like his matches with Rob Van Dam, so good. And he looks like Jerry Lynn. There's a lot of Terry Funk in him. And Terry Funk, we're going to be talking about him a lot next week, brother. Let me tell you.
Okay.
In Beyond the Mat. Because Terry Funk is a wrestler who he wrestled well into his fucking 70s. Retired in 2017, just passed away a couple of years ago, unfortunately. But there's a lot of that because, again, in his later years, Terry Funk, because he was in a position where he wasn't in WWE or WCW. So he went to ECW, which is Extreme Championship Wrestling, which doesn't exist anymore. And he did a bunch of hardcore stuff. Like in his fucking old age, he did a ton of hardcore stuff that he probably shouldn't have been doing, which is very similar to Randy wrestling Necro Butcher in CZW. And, where it's like, you got this older guy, because again, sometimes older wrestlers, it's like, okay, well, what am I going to get booked to do? It's like, okay, I guess I can deal with that. Because a lot of these older guys in the 80s, they were having hardcore-ish matches where they're like hitting each other with chains and stuff and they're bleeding. But it's not to the level of, okay, I'm going to take you off a ladder through a table. We're going to cut you up with barbed wire. We're going to do all this where it's just like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of that for sure. I think there's a lot of Ric Flair, or rather, I think Ric Flair turned into Randy the Ram Robinson as he got older.
Okay.
Because Ric Flair retired from WWE the year this movie came out. And it was a beautiful match, like him and Shawn Michaels. There's that moment where Ric Flair, if he loses, he retires. He's been holding on to his career for like, a few months where it's like, oh, next match you lose is your last. He's crying. He looks at Shawn Michaels and he's like, come on. And Shawn Michaels says, I'm sorry, I love you. And fucking super kicks him and pins him and ends his career. Beautiful. So Ric Flair, of course, wrestled the next year. He wrestled for Hulk Hogan's Hulkamania tour in Australia because, of course, he did.
Mm-hmm.
And then he wrestled a bunch for TNA. Did all sorts of stuff. He wrestled Mick Foley in TNA, which is super weird. He wrestled Jay Lethal, all this shit. And then he stopped wrestling around 2011 again. And then 2022. We got the NWA presented Ric Flair's final match.
Again.
Yeah, in 4 years ago. And everyone going into that match was like, is he gonna fucking die? Like at the end of The Wrestler. And he didn't.
Okay.
But he did fake a heart attack during the match. And also had a real heart attack during the match.
Okay. Well then.
And that dude is still, I mean, there. You go to the right bar at 9 o'clock in the morning, you're going to see Ric Flair there. To this day.
He
is not a well man.
Where does he live?
Everywhere, brother. I don't know. I think he lives in Florida because he's always at like a Florida bar. There's always videos of him yelling at somebody.
Let's go to Florida.
Drunk as fuck.
Let's go to Florida and see if we can catch Ric Flair at the bar.
To see if we can catch Ric Flair. Catch him with a net. Just like, come on, Rick.
We're taking you home.
Yeah.
I want to mention one thing, and maybe you already know this story, but according to one wrestler, he was the first choice. And he was contacted directly by Mr. Aronofsky, and he was offered the role, but he decided against it. He's like, I can't do this because it would be too distracting. Hulk Hogan.
No, he wasn't.
Hulk Hogan claimed that he was originally going to be cast in The Wrestler, that he was the first choice. I think he said this on like a Howard Stern show or something.
Oh, yeah. Or Bob the Love Sponge or something. Yeah.
And of course, Darren Aronofsky came out and just was like, no, that's not true. Mickey Rourke was always the first choice. Yeah.
No, Hulk Hogan is a famous liar. He also lied about being offered the George Foreman grill and that he was going to be the bass player from Metallica.
Yeah, that one is really dumb. Does Hulk Hogan play the bass?
Yeah, no, he does, actually. That's real. That is real.
He doesn't play it anymore, but... That's crazy that we were this close to getting the Hulk Hogan grill. That's wild.
Yeah, well, I think there is a wrestler. I think he did... Oh, forgive me if I'm mistaken. I think he did have one at one point, and it like got recalled because it was a fire hazard. Because I know that Brian Zane made a video about that at one point. I think he did do that.
Wow. Okay. The Hulkster. I can't believe he would lie to us like that.
No, I know. I mean, look, Hogan was in one good movie, and it was Gremlins 2, and I don't get why that wasn't enough for him.
He needed to have it all, Caleb. Just like Randy the Ram Johnson.
Yeah. Randy the Ram Robinson.
Randy the Ram Jam. The Ram Jam.
But do you know who did almost get the role if Mickey Rourke wasn't going to do it?
I know I read this. Can you remind me? Who was it?
It's Nicolas Cage.
Yes. Yeah. Nicolas Cage was one of the, if Mickey Rourke couldn't get it, which I guess there was some, back and forth because he was known for his erratic behavior, and I guess it was really difficult for Darren to get the funding for this. But he insisted, and of course Mickey Rourke put in a fantastic performance. And we get to the end of the film after we see this self-destructive man who has just cut himself off from everyone. He's clearly not having a good time. He's already had one heart attack. He's been told explicitly that he could have another. He gets on the top rope and he jumps. And then we cut to black. Well, the boss himself sings, What do you think happened? Do you think that he passed, or do you think that he landed? What does Caleb, our wrestling expert, think?
I think that he got up and he was fine, and then everyone lived happily ever after. No, I think he died.
Yeah, you think?
Like, I think he died in the ring. As a side note, I just do want to say a Ring of Honor show would like never be main evented by two legends against each other. So I thought that was kind of funny, but that doesn't matter. That's like me being annoying.
You're just being very nitpicky. Fucking Simpsons over here. Ding.
Yeah, shout out to Nigel McGuinness for being in this movie, by the way. He's in it for 2 seconds. That was great to see him. Love Nigel.
Nigel. My heart almost broke when he looked over to see if Marissa was still there, and she had already left because she couldn't bear to watch it.
Yeah, and I think he viewed it as her abandoning him.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what was happening. It's because she cares about you, you dumb fuck.
But I mean, he's so fucked up in the head that he just doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand when people are trying to help him because he's so fucked in the head. Well,
because even like the guy he's wrestling who is played by former pro wrestler Ernest the Cat Miller.
Mm-hmm.
He's even like, hey, dude, just pin me. We're good. Yeah. We gave him enough. Come on. And he's even trying to be, and he can't do it.
He has to give him more. He's
doing way too much.
He lives for that attention. He says he's like, out there I get hurt. In here, and in here they love me. Yeah. Right.
Do you like that he comes out to Sweet Child of Mine?
Yeah. And I guess that was like a thing where they sent like a letter to Axl Rose or something to ask, because the budget was so small for this film that they actually couldn't afford to like get the rights. So they talked to Axl. I think Mickey Rourke contacted Axl directly, and they were able to get it, I think, for free. They were able to use Sweet Child of Mine for no charge.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think it uses that song better than Thor: Love and Thunder?
Maybe it's possible. You know who was in the running to play Thor was Hulk Hogan. He was asked by Stan Lee himself.
Oh yeah, dude. Stan Lee invited me to the DC offices, brother.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say that one thing is, like, I always thought that the song at the end it's not. I don't think the song is bad at all, but I just always think it's funny. It's like, have you ever seen a one-legged dog?
You don't like The Boss? You don't like Mr. Bruce Springsteen?
About that weird connection to the next movie, actually, but because Jeremy Allen White played him.
Oh yeah, I never saw that movie. It looked really not interesting.
I didn't either, but yeah, no, but I think it's but yeah, I think it was a good song for the end of the credits. But sorry, I'm so sorry. What were you gonna say?
I don't know. I think we're moving on.
Okay,
The Wrestler is a good movie.
Yeah, I just want to say one really quick thing is before I forget, because I was watching this with subtitles. There's a scene where he goes to hang out with R-Truth, and he does shots of Fireball. Don't do that. And he ends up hooking up with this woman in the bathroom who has a fetish for firemen.
Mm-hmm.
Insane dialogue with her. But when they're having sex in the bathroom, I've never noticed this before because I was watching it with subtitles. She's supposed to be imitating the sirens of a fire truck when she's having sex. Because it says in parentheses, like it just says like imitating like sirens.
Okay.
And I thought that was fascinating.
Women have fetishes too, Caleb.
I know.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to kink shame anybody. I just think that's interesting.
Caleb thinks that if you're into firefighters, you're weird, and you shouldn't fetishize firefighters.
No, yeah. That's where that's my stance. That's my line in the sand.
You draw the line at firefighters. All right,
yeah.
Moving on from one depressing ass movie to an even more depressing ass movie, Caleb.
Yes, we've got The Iron Claw, which is, of course, written and directed by Sean Durkin. Cinematography by Matthias Erdely. Edited by Matthew Hannum. And starring Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, Harris Dickinson, Stanley Simmons, Holt McCallany, Maura Tierney, and Lily James.
So you knew about the Von Erichs before this movie came out then, right?
Yes, I'm not going to pretend I was an expert on them, but I was very familiar and aware of the story and everything.
And what was, I mean, because you, were you able to see this in theaters?
Yes, yeah, I saw it on New Year's Eve.
Oh, hell yeah.
At
Nice.
Alamo Drafthouse. I saw it in like a packed theater.
Great. That must have been great. Were they playing like old wrestling clips before?
Yes, they were playing old wrestling clips. They were playing clips from TNA of Jay Lethal doing Ric Flair impressions. It was crazy. I was like, this is surreal. I'm in a packed theater watching Jay Lethal do Ric Flair impressions. Like, what is happening?
So speaking of Ric Flair impressions, there is a Ric Flair in the movie. Now, I spoke to our good friend Joe Russo after I saw this film. And I asked him, I was like, oh, what'd you think about the Ric Flair impression? And Joe Russo looked at me and he said, I could do a better Ric Flair impression. What do you think about the guy who plays Ric Flair, Caleb?
Okay, look-wise, not bad.
Okay.
And in the scene where he's like wearing the belt and he's like, you know, Zac Efron, whenever you want to go, but let's go party, brother. That was great. That's kind of how I expect Ric Flair to act.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you put Ric Flair in a movie, the first thing out of his mouth is going to be woo. The second thing is going to be where can I get drunk? And so it's like, but that promo with him, not so good. It's the woo. He didn't do the woo properly.
Right.
And it just kind of like, that's kind of the thing you have to get right. And like, I love this movie. I think it's like a pretty perfect movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the one thing I don't like. I don't think that was handled super well.
Okay.
But also, it's like not that big of a deal. The Harley Race dude and the Bruiser Brody, they're great.
Mm-hmm.
Harley Race especially. Like, I was like, that's a really good Harley Race, actually.
Yeah.
And also all the Von Erich siblings, like, they're brilliant. I mean, those performances are incredible.
Yeah, the performances across the board. I mean, we have Zac Efron from High School Musical, and he's in here, and he is acting his little booty off, Caleb.
Yeah.
This is one of his best. I think this is his best performance ever. I don't know what else I've seen him in. Can you think of anything else that he's been in, or is this just like is this it for you?
Well, I'm sorry. His best performance is obviously voicing Anakin Skywalker in the Robot Chicken Star Wars stuff.
Okay. I didn't realize that he had done that. There's a couple connections to Star Wars because Jeremy Allen White was Jabba the Hutt Jr. So
he is, yeah. But no, I think that Zac Efron, I really think, I'm not going to say who it is, but there is one person who was nominated that year at the Oscars. Cillian Murphy was going to win regardless. But like, I think there's one person you could have slotted out and put Zac Efron in.
Right.
Because he was brilliant. Everyone in this movie is pretty fantastic. Like, that core cast, they are all incredible. Zac Efron, you know, because you kind of have to center this movie around him, where he's such a he's very reserved, but he's also like, he cares so much about his family, cares so much about, you know, his wife, and then he also just like, there's such sadness to him, like even like before anyone passes away, any of the tragedy happens.
Yeah,
like I think he's just a sad person who kind of like, you know, not that it's bad, because again, like, you know, I mean, he's still the person he's playing still alive. You know, still involved with wrestling, and his sons are wrestling currently in Ring of Honor. So, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, I don't think he's like a sad person, but I think in this film it kind of feels like, oh, his dad pushed him into it, and he's trying his best to just live up to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sad movie. It's a very sad movie, and that dad character, played by Holt McCallany, I mean, what a guy.
Fritz Von Erich, he was not a nice guy. And it's crazy because I have seen people criticize this movie and say he was too nice in it.
He was too nice? Really? This is too nice?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I don't even want to imagine what he was like in real life then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, there's a scene where he's talking to one of the Von Erichs, the one who's like really into music. No, not the one who's into music. He's talking to Jeremy Allen White's character.
Yeah.
And he's like saying like, listen, I would never push any of you guys into wrestling, but you should go into wrestling so I can love you, basically.
Yeah.
And it's just this really like fucked up, toxic, manipulative thing that he's doing with all of his sons, where he's like holding this over their head that he will love you if you do what he did, which is be a wrestler, and kind of having this expectations for him, for his sons, that ends up killing pretty much all of them.
Yeah, well, it's crazy too, because like I think if he had won the NWA world title, I don't think he ever would have. I don't know if I think that's why he's like so weird. Is he's like, well, it's got to be in this family, even if it's not me, you know. And he put, and then like the way he like pits his sons against each other is really awful, because you get like how, with Zac Efron, he's very good in the ring, but he's not good at talking,
right?
Whereas Harris Dickinson, very good at talking, very charismatic, but then that gets him more attention and more over, and so it's very. It's really sad. Or even you even see it with Jeremy Allen White whenever he loses his foot.
Yeah.
Is that he still tries to, like, he's like, well, I got to do this still. Like, I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's really sad. And it does paint wrestling. Because the thing with wrestling is, like, it's one of those things where, like, if you are pushing yourself too hard, like with Harris Dickinson, who, ends up dying because he's pushing himself too hard.
Yeah.
That's not good. And it's one of those things where it's good to like lean back and go, okay, like I'm using my body. Like there needs to be, wrestling really does need to be unionized, because like there's so much where it's like, like you're using your body for your job and it's like breaking down, or you're having issues with it. It's like you have to have some protection.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, like people used to wrestle with concussions all the time. It's fucking horrible. And I just think that the entire family dynamic, it's really strong. All of the characters in this movie are really strong. Like even ones who don't get as much screen time. Like I know the mom, who's played by Maura Tierney, like she doesn't get a ton of screen time, but all of her scenes have like purpose, and you understand who she is really well.
Yeah, and we get a little bit of kind of a peek into how she can be kind of toxic as well, where she's being very disrespectful towards Zach's wife, played by Lily James, where she's like, oh wow, she looks nice if she puts herself together. And it's like, can't these parents be happy for their kids? Like, it's just like shitty parents, what's the deal with that?
Yeah. Or even like, and it's funny because I love the scene where Zac Efron, where he's talking about his older brother dying when they were kids. And Lily James like hugs him, and it's like he doesn't know how to react to that.
Probably because it's the first time that he's ever been shown any kind of sympathy.
Yeah, where he's just like, oh yeah, wow. And it's like, and even like whenever they have a really great scene where they have sex later in the movie. And when that happens, it's like she kind of like, he gets really scared because he hadn't had sex before. Yeah. And it's really sweet, actually. Like they have great chemistry together.
They do. Yeah. Both of them have really great chemistry. I think there's great chemistry across the board in this film. I think everyone works really well together. And, you believe it. You believe their relationships. You believe that Holt is an asshole, right? And then of course you have the artistic brother who just wants to play music, who gets kind of like pushed into this world, and you just feel really bad for him, and then especially when he gets his injury, like that ends up being a really heartbreaking scene. And kind of going back to what you spoke about earlier with suicide, is that we see him do suicide in the film, and actually two of the characters die by suicide, which is true to life. That did happen in real life. And I think in both ways it's done very tastefully, very respectfully. I think sometimes in film, film can have a way of, I don't know, dramatizing suicide in a disrespectful way, or in a way that like, that really like, I don't know what point I'm like getting at, but it is done in a respectful way. I feel like,
no, I agree with you with that for sure. Because I think one thing, and I just wanted to also bring up, so this film is very accurate, but there is one brother who is missing from this movie, and that is Chris Von Erich, who was also, obviously involved in everything. He also committed suicide. Yeah. And that's the reason he's not in the movie, is because you know, and it's other things where like I a lot of people criticize this movie for that, where they say it's like kind of rude to leave him out, and I understand that perspective, but I also understand from a writing perspective where it's like, okay, you're writing a movie where 3 different characters commit suicide. That is a lot to put an audience through.
It is, yeah. And when Sean Durkin, he did mention that like in earlier drafts of the film, he was in the movie. That he was in it for the first few years of writing this film. But yeah, they did elect to take it out because it was just like, this is just too much. This is just too fucking depressing, really. And I feel like at some point maybe the audience wouldn't have bought it as well. Like you would have had that you would have had that risk that the audience would have thought like, oh well, you're just pushing this too far, when in reality they really didn't go far enough with portraying the absolute depressing aspects of just how fucked up this family was, because of their toxic father, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean how do you feel about that as a wrestling fan, that they didn't include the brother? I mean, you kind of touched on it already.
I mean, I see both sides of it. Like on one hand, I think it would have been too much. Like it's a lot to put the audience through. By the other hand, it would have been nice to kind of have that. You know what I mean? Like to just to acknowledge, because he was a person who was alive and was wrestled with them, was related to them, was a big part of their lives. But yeah, no, I do think from like just the actual like how it was, like just as a film, you do have to take into account that how the audience is going to feel watching that, especially with something like suicide, where like you have 2 characters that are going to die from that in this film. And it's important to to acknowledge that, I feel. But and it's really crazy too, because again, Kevin Von Erich, who Zac Efron plays, he's still alive. To this day, again, still involved with wrestling. Again, his sons are in Ring of Honor, so he's made I remember at All In, which is AEW's WrestleMania. They were in Texas last year, and on the pre-show, he got in the ring into the Iron Claw to some heels, which was really cool. Yeah, it was really fun, and it's one of those things where like, and I think calling this film the Iron Claw is really smart, because obviously like the Iron Claw is like the thing, it's the Von Erich thing, it's the move, but also it's kind of like their dad has the Iron Claw on them, right? Is like he's like kind of suffocating them, pushing them into this life that some of them are meant for and some of them weren't. Like, I mean, Kerry Von Erich was, this movie doesn't even get into how popular Kerry Von Erich it was. Like, he was insanely over, very, very popular guy, and like no one knew that he was an amputee until after he died. Like most wrestling fans didn't know, because he was in WWE wrestling as Intercontinental Champion for a couple months. Yeah. Like, no one had any idea. And again, then WWE got sick of him for no reason. They just threw him away and put him on the house shows with Kamala for a while. This is the second time Kamala's been brought up, which is interesting in this episode. But, it's I don't know. This is a depressing ass movie, but I think it's also like, there is that comfort in like, yes, even though Kevin Von Erich, obviously like all of his brothers passed away, like all 5 of them died. At the end of the day, he still has like his wife and his kids and the rest of his family, where, he has like tons of grandkids, and also his family is involved. Carrie's daughter also wrestled for a while as Lacey Von Erich. Oh, nice. She's retired, but she did wrestle for a little bit. She was in TNA. And like, I think it's one of those things where like, yes, even though tragedy happens, you can still like not forget about that, but like you can still like,
well, you can move on
and like grow and have your own life. And also I do think it's fucked up that Fritz Von Erich outlived his 5 of his sons by like multiple years. He didn't die until like the late 90s. Yeah. Died of cancer, I believe. Yeah. And it's also one thing I did like about the end of this movie, where you kind of see that, where it's like at the end, it's like he's got nothing. Like even his relationship with his wife is like not strong, and I don't know. I think this, and also I just wanted to say the how the actual wrestling is done in this film is really well done. Obviously Chavo Guerrero, who we've talked about previously, he's always involved in the on-screen wrestling stuff now. He's like the guy that people go to for it, which is really cool. Yeah. But you know what I think about is sad as a connection is how, because obviously, like, you know, in the film we see Kevin carrying Carrie's body inside, like he's the one who finds him dead. I mean, Chavo Guerrero found his uncle Eddie Guerrero, who's like one of the most popular wrestlers ever. He found him in his hotel room when he passed away. You know, it's like, it's so sad how much, a lot of, especially like with these big wrestling families, how much tragedy can be around them, especially from like the 80s and 90s, where like those bad habits with the steroid use, the not taking concussions seriously, not taking injuries seriously, not having, you know, being treated as independent contractors, not being unionized, all of these things, a lot of people fucking died because of that.
Yeah.
Or got their lives ruined. And it's one of those things where, like, you know, and people will use the excuse, oh, well, they knew what they were getting into. No, they fucking didn't. And it's either way, it's like people are trying to make a fucking living.
Yeah, and I mean, and this is a frustration I have with so much of, you know, trying to change things and trying to make things better in general. And you always have some fucking bozo who's like, oh, that's just how it's always been. And it's like, well, maybe we should change that. Maybe just because that's how it's always been is not a good fucking answer, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you know, as a union man, as a union member, I think everyone should be in a fucking union. But especially if you are a performer, if you are somebody who's putting their body on the line, you should be in a union, and you should have, you know, healthcare and benefits like that can help you later on in life. You know, one of the really beautiful moments from this movie that I think is so poetic and really pays off well is early on in the film. You know, we see Zac Efron, and he's like, you know, he's saying, you know, this is what I want, just me and my brothers, you know, just me and my brothers having a good time, right? When they're out partying at the at that party that they go to, I think, where he meets his eventual wife. And of course, we see throughout this movie his brothers one by one, you know, pass away, and at the end he doesn't have any more brothers, but he still has his kids. And his kids are brothers, and they're playing in the yard, and they're passing a football around. And it's like, you know, he wasn't able to have that for him and his brothers, but he was able to provide that for his kids by not being a toxic piece of shit like his dad was. And it's beautiful because you can grow up in that environment, but still learn, you know, you can unlearn those habits and end that cycle of trauma.
Yeah, no, and there's that really beautiful moment too, where I think it's kind of the thesis statement of the movie, where he's like crying, and his kids are like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "Oh, you shouldn't see me like this. Boys, men don't cry." And they're like, "You can cry, Dad. We cry all the time."
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what the movie's about.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not, is that toxic masculinity is bad.
Yes, toxic masculinity is bad in both of these movies. Obviously, like, closing yourself off to the world is not good. And, you know, treating your kids like they're just extensions of yourself so that you can live through their achievements is also not good, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be shitty parents, right? I think that's a great thing that we can all agree on.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because just to bring up Ric Flair again, his daughter, Charlotte, well, so first of all, so Ric Flair has 3 kids. David Flair, who was a wrestler and retired, Charlotte Flair, who has been wrestling for a little over 10 years, and she's like one of the most successful women's wrestlers of all time, and Reed Flair, who unfortunately passed away. But with Rick, it's like whenever Charlotte Flair was first really coming up in WWE, you bet your ass Ric Flair was there next to her, making all about himself constantly.
Wow.
You know, so anyway, just want to point out, if you see toxic traits in wrestlers in films, there's a little bit of Ric Flair in all of them.
Okay. little bit of Ric Flair in maybe all of us, right? We all...
I hope not. I don't want to be Ric Flair. I mean, I think he was a good wrestler.
Okay.
You know, like...
Where's the Ric Flair movie? When's that going to happen?
So here's the thing. Oh, you know what? Maybe we should have done the Ric Flair. There's a great Ric Flair documentary. There's a 30 for 30 on him.
Okay.
And it is so honest. Like, you do not get that from WWE. It is just like, this is a toxic man who... It is so good, that documentary. It's like, it's just fully honest.
Yeah, 30 for 30 always makes really good documentaries. They're like some of the best sports documentaries out there. Yeah, The Iron Claw, fantastic film, gut-wrenching movie, very honest, very brutally honest about the realities of this industry, right?
Yeah, and you saw this in theaters, right?
I did. Yeah, I saw it at the Writers Guild.
Nice.
I got to see Sean Durkin himself. He was he did a Q&A afterwards. He seemed like a cool guy.
That's awesome. I want to see what he does next. Where are you, Sean?
I have no idea. Let me see. Let me click on his name over here.
Because I didn't see anything upcoming with him.
No. Yeah, I know that he did Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene, which I downloaded one time illegally and I never got around to watching it. According to this, he has a movie called Deep Cuts, which is filming, and then there's a TV series, Seven Sisters, which is in post-production. So he's got some stuff coming up.
Oh, cool. Well, I'll have to check those out because I love this fucking movie, obviously.
Yeah, this movie was really good. Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else we want to say before we wrap up, Caleb? I know this ended up being like kind of a down episode, a depressing episode. But I mean, that's just the reality of this, of your favorite sport, Caleb. Your favorite sport is so depressing.
It really is. It can be. There's good stuff about it. There's been good wrestling things. It's also, I do think it's interesting that at the end of this movie, they're like, oh, the Von Erich family were inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2009. Mm-hmm. I just want to say something, is the WWE Hall of Fame is something that you will hear people say, and I don't want to take anything away because like, it is nice to honor people who have given so much to wrestling. You know what I mean? Like the Von Erich, like again, the class they went into, like, Terry Funk got inducted into the same class, and so did his brother Dory Funk Jr. Mm-hmm. Like the WWE Hall of Fame is a great way to honor, like, the trailblazers in wrestling, all this stuff. WWE uses it as a like marketing tool, basically. I mean, for fuck's sake, this year, they put in Dennis Rodman, and he did wrestle in WCW a little bit, but like they put, and it's like you have like Stephanie McMahon as like the headliner with AJ Styles, but like it's just weird. Like the WWE Hall of Fame isn't like a real thing. Like it's like kind of just like a thing.
Well, William Shatner's
Paul Orndorff,
isn't he?
Well, yeah, William Shatner's in it. The president is in it. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. Arnold Schwarzenegger was in it just so they could have they could do Terminator stuff at WrestleMania that year.
Did he come out in his leather jacket?
No, Triple H, my favorite person. Triple H came out with wearing like a Terminator mask, holding like Terminator skulls, like he was a Terminator hunter.
Wow.
But he's also the Terminator, and it was like so badass and cool, and everyone loved it. And then he beat Sting. I hate wrestling so much, actually. Never mind. Okay. No, this is a downer episode. Fuck wrestling. No. But it's wrestling is, I don't know, wrestling's cool. It's but you also have to, it's great to love wrestling, but you also have to be aware of how historically people have been treated badly, and also like look out for that when that happens now, because now when wrestlers are like, hey, I'm being treated like shit, or I was having a bad time here, people just go, well, fuck off, and they get like really defensive and angry at them.
Right.
And also I just want to make this very clear. If you go meet a female wrestler in person, be fucking normal.
Well, you should be normal around women all the time, not just women wrestlers. But
of course.
You should be normal around people. But yeah, especially if you're a man, don't be fucking weird around women.
Yeah. Don't wait in an airport for Rhea Ripley. Leave her alone.
Anyways, we're wrapping this up, Caleb. We're wrapping this up. The Wrestler, The Iron Claw, two movies that have a lot in common, both very depressing, both dealing with self-destructive behavior and trauma and depression, and two fantastic movies as well. Two really great examples of good wrestling movies.
Yeah.
And next week,
great wrestling movies.
And on our next episode, we'll be much more uplifting, much more happy. Right? We're gonna have a good time next week or next time.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm not gonna have a lot of. Oh my god, I'm just thinking about some of the stuff I'm gonna have to bring up that's not even in it. Oh my god, it's gonna be fun. This gonna be like when I reviewed WrestleMania 6 on my Substack.
Yes, and your Substack. You have a wrestling Substack, which we'll put links down below to.
Yes.
because you are a huge wrestling fan and you are our expert, our wrestling expert on the podcast.
I think about it constantly.
Amazing. Yes.
In fact, I'm going to be staying up until 4 a.m. tonight watching the New Japan show that's coming out the day that we're recording this. So
hell yeah, and I'll also be staying up to watch some soccer. So we're both staying up and watching. It's funny because the World Cup has been getting a lot of criticism because of FIFA. And I feel like you love wrestling, but you hate WWE, right?
Yeah.
And I love soccer, but I fucking hate FIFA. I can't stand.
Yeah.
I like FIFA. Like they're both just these evil entities that we just kind of have to deal with because we both love our sports so much. But anyways, come back next time, and hear us talk about some more wrestling films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've established that me and Anthony are citizens of the world, and we will see you guys next week whenever I monkey flip Anthony into just talking about more stuff.
You're gonna monkey flip me? What the fuck? Okay.
It's where I put my hands on your shoulders and then I put my knees on like about your chest or like your kind of midsection, and then I go backwards, and then I'm on the ground, and then I just kind of flip you over me.
Okay then. All right. Well, you do that. I will not.
You will also be part of that.
No, I won't. I will be at home. But yeah, we'll see y'all next time. Good night.